The security footage from Santa Barbara Municipal Airport is grainy, but the timestamp is unmistakable. 3:14 a.m. A black SUV screeches to a halt in a no-parking zone. The driver doesn't get out. Instead, the passenger door flies open, and a figure stumbles onto the tarmac. It's Prince Harry, but this isn't the polished Duke we're used to seeing on magazine covers. He's wearing a gray t-shirt, sweatpants, and one of his sneakers is untied. He has no suitcase. He has no security detail. In his shaking hand, he clutches a single dark blue booklet, his British passport. Witnesses on the ground described a scene of pure panic. One tarmac employee, speaking on condition of anonymity, said he didn't look like a royal. He looked like a refugee. Harry ran toward a fueling Cessna, banging on the hull and shouting for the pilot to just go. For 4 years, rumors circulated that Harry wanted to leave the UK. But tonight, the narrative flipped. He wasn't escaping the palace. He was escaping the mansion in Montecito. Sources claim the house was in lockdown. Lights blazed in every room, guards patrolled the perimeter, but the master bedroom was empty. The reason for his flight came in the form of a frantic text message allegedly sent by Meghan to her mother just minutes after Harry's car peeled out of the driveway. The text didn't express worry for his safety, it expressed terror for her secrets. It read, "He broke into the safe. He has the blue drive. Mom, it's over." To understand why a prince would flee into the night with nothing but the clothes on his back, we have to go back 3 hours before the wheels left the tarmac. The children were asleep. Meghan was reportedly in the guest wing, editing the final cut of a new project. Harry wasn't asleep. He was searching. According to household insiders, Harry had been planning a solo trip to the UK to visit King Charles following a cancer diagnosis. But there was a logistical problem. He couldn't find his passport. For years, it had been whispered that Meghan kept the family's vital documents in what she called the vault, a hidden safe in the master closet requiring a biometric scan. But tonight, whether by fate or a glitch, the safe was allegedly left ajar. Harry walked into the closet expecting to grab his travel documents and leave a note. He found the passport, but underneath it, he discovered something that didn't belong in a family safe, a metallic blue hard drive. A strip of masking tape across the front bore handwriting Harry recognized instantly. It belonged to Marcus Anderson, Meghan's closest ally and Soho House director. The label read, Soho Archive 2015 to 2018. Do not delete. Curiosity turned to confusion, and confusion quickly turned to horror. Harry took the drive to his study, locked the door, and plugged it into his laptop. What he saw wasn't a family photo album. It was a folder structure that looked like a corporate acquisition database. Folder A, the Istanbul account. Folder B, the yacht receipts. Folder C, target acquisition H. He clicked on the file. The video opened, timestamped June 2016, 1 month before their first date. It showed Meghan sitting in a Soho House boardroom in Toronto. She wasn't the blushing humanitarian in this clip. She was clinical. Holding a whiteboard marker, she circled a photo of Harry pinned to the board.
"He's the mark," she said.
"He's desperate for a mother figure. We need to play up the Diana angle. If we hook him, the brand value is infinite." Harry didn't scream. He didn't cry. He threw up. The realization hit him with the force of a physical blow. The romance, the courtship, the us against the world. It was all a long con. A carefully orchestrated heist, and the stolen goods were his life. He ejected the drive, shoved it into his pocket, and ran. He knew instinctively that if she knew he had seen Folder C, he wouldn't be allowed to leave the house. Now, high above the Atlantic in the pressurized cabin of the Cessna, Harry opened a folder titled The Sandringham Tapes. The file names made his blood run cold. Queen Private Summit John 2020, William Kitchen Argument, Charles Financial Plea. Harry plugged in his headphones and clicked on the file labeled with the Queen's name. He heard the crackle of a hidden microphone, then the soft voice of his late grandmother speaking. "I cannot give you half in, half out, Harry. It is dangerous." Then he heard himself shouting, and in the background, the rustle of fabric. The microphone wasn't on him, it was on Meghan. He realized with a sick, jolting sensation that she had been wearing a wire during the most painful private moments of his life. She hadn't just recorded the family, she had archived them for leverage, but the horror didn't stop at wiretaps. The drive contained a subdirectory labeled medical and logistics. Inside were emails between Meghan and a specialized prop studio in Los Angeles, known for high-budget sci-fi films. The subject lines were clinical. Month 4, silicone weight adjustment, texture match, delivery date, prosthetic set B. Harry clicked on an image file. It showed a side-by-side comparison of a prosthetic pregnancy belly and a photo of Meghan from an engagement in Birkenhead. The match was identical. The secrecy surrounding the births wasn't about privacy. It was about hiding the fact that the production schedule didn't match biological reality. Back in Montecito, the silence of the night was shattered. Meghan didn't call 911 or her security team to report a missing person. She made one call to Marcus Anderson in Toronto. The transcript of the call, intercepted by a localized signal breach, was a masterclass in panic management. "He has the archive," Meghan allegedly whispered. "He knows about the yacht. He knows about the audition tapes." Marcus went into damage control mode. "Track his phone," he ordered. "If he brings that drive to London, if he hands it to William, we are uninsurable. We are finished." Harry had finally learned the tradecraft of the people he was living with. Police reports confirm a shattered iPhone 14 Pro discovered on the side of the 101 freeway near the Carpinteria exit. He had tossed the tracking device at 60 miles per hour. He had gone dark. Realizing she couldn't track him physically, Meghan initiated Plan B. At 5:45 a.m., a call was logged with the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department and private medical contractors in the UK. The narrative was chilling. High-profile male, aged 39, fled the residence in a manic state. Off his meds. Delusional. Do not approach. Needs psychiatric hold. She wasn't just trying to stop him. She was trying to institutionalize him. The wheels of the Cessna screeched against the wet tarmac of Farnborough Airport. It was 11 a.m. London time, gray and drizzling. As the plane taxied toward the private hangar, Harry saw them. 3 black SUVs. They weren't the Royal Protection Squad. They were private security contractors. 2 paramedics and a man in a suit with a clipboard stood by. Meghan's call had worked. "They're going to section me," Harry realized, gripping the blue drive so tightly his knuckles turned white. The pilot opened the cabin door. "Your Highness," the man called. "Please come down slowly. We have a car ready to take you to a private clinic. Your wife is very worried." "I'm not going with you," Harry shouted. "I am not on medication." It was a trap. If he walked down those stairs, he disappeared. But just as the paramedics put their boots on the first step, a roar echoed across the airfield. From the service entrance, a convoy of 4 armored Range Rovers tore onto the tarmac. They didn't have private plates, they had crown plates. The vehicles boxed in the private security team. 6 men stepped out, holding submachine guns. At the center was Ken Worf, former personal protection officer to Princess Diana. The only man Harry trusted enough to call, "Step away from the prince." Worf barked. The man with the clipboard stammered, "We have a medical order from the Duchess." "The Duchess has no jurisdiction here," Worf interrupted, flashing a badge bearing the royal crest. "This is British soil. That man is the son of the king. He is under the protection of the crown." Harry sprinted down the stairs, dodging the stunned paramedics, and dived into the back of the lead Range Rover. Safe, the convoy tore through the streets of London, ignoring red lights. The car turned into the mall, and the gates of Clarence House swung open. King Charles was waiting. Sources inside the palace described the scene as biblical, the prodigal son returning, not with a plea for money, but with a confession of high treason. Harry placed the blue drive on the antique coffee table. "It wasn't the press," he said, his voice cracking. "It was her. The leaks, the book, the interviews, it was all scripted. And I have the script." A secure laptop was brought in. For 2 hours, King Charles listened. He heard Meghan recording him during private family dinners. He heard the Soho House strategy sessions mocking the monarchy as a fading brand to be stripped for content. The moment that broke the king was a video from September 2022. 2 days before Queen Elizabeth died. Meghan, chopping vegetables, told her PR team, "The old lady is fading." When she goes, "We launched the racism narrative immediately. Charles will be weak. We hit him while he's grieving. Time the podcast right. We delegitimize the coronation." Charles turned away, shaking. This wasn't just a bad daughter-in-law. This was a foreign operative who infiltrated his family to dismantle the institution from the inside. Suddenly, the secure phone rang. It was the Prime Minister. "Your Majesty," the aide said, pale. "T has published a statement. The Duchess claims Prince Harry is mentally unstable, violent, and abusing substances. She demands full custody." Charles's frailty vanished, replaced by the cold resolve of a monarch. "She thinks she is fighting a husband," he said. "She forgets she is fighting the crown." He ordered MI6, no press statement, only a warrant. While the sun set over London, the lights in Clarence House burned brighter than they had in decades. The Blue Drive didn't just prove a bad marriage, it proved Meghan illegally recorded private conversations with the late Queen and the current King, violating the Official Secrets Act and U.S. federal wiretapping laws. Back in California, the Olive Garden mansion shifted from triumph to terror. A convoy of black SUVs with federal plates arrived. It wasn't the local sheriff, it was the FBI. Meghan stood in the foyer, phone in hand. Marcus Anderson had gone dark, eye in London. Harry stepped onto the steps of Clarence House. Clean-shaven, wearing a suit, he looked like a Windsor. Facing the press, he spoke. "For 6 years, I was told my family was the villain. I was told I was a victim. I was told I was saving the world. I wasn't saving the world. I was funding a grift. The scripts have been burned, and the Blue Drive is now in the hands of the authorities." He held up a copy of the 1917 letters patent regarding custody of royal grandchildren. "My children are citizens of the United Kingdom. They are the grandchildren of the king, and I am coming to get them." Harry turned and walked back inside, slamming the heavy oak doors. The simulation had broken. One final text message from Harry to Meghan appeared on the screen. 3 words that ended the era of silence and began the era of reckoning. Checkmate.
H.